Okay, I'm right here at the DoubleTree Hotel, October 16th. This is Brent Mateo Alderson, correspondent to the ring and BoxingScene.com staff writer. I'm here with Darvell Williamson. Were you working with some fighters tonight? Which one are your fighters spot tonight? Are you training fighters right now?
Yes, it's kind of like something to keep me occupied in the interim between fights. I represent a guy named Chris, the Future Green. Obviously, I'm the president and he's the future. And I represent another gentleman named Kenny, the Surrogate Warrior, Lemos, out of Denver, Colorado.
Okay, is that your home base is Denver, Colorado?
That is correct. I'm with Touch My Boxing, Denver, Colorado, and I'm just happy to stay busy. This is it gives me an opportunity to work with other guys, especially heavyweights, to kind of keep me sharp with sparring and those kinds of things. To kind of keep your mind in it when there's not really something on the desk or on the table for you in terms of a fight that I have lined up and ready to go.
Now, what can you tell me? I want to talk about you fought the who's who of the boxing of 2000. Vladimir Klitschko, Chris Bird, Joe Messi. First, let's talk about the Klitschko fight. I think it went 5 rounds, and they went to scorecards because of accidental headbutt, and you had knocked him down. It's tough to lose the decision when you knock a guy down, and it's only been 5 rounds. What do you think about the Klitschko fight? Do you think he won that fight? What do you think about Klitschko's prospects against Calvin Brock? Do you feel like he has any chance at all against Vladimir in that fight coming up?
I think Calvin Brock has a very good chance because he's a very good fundamental boxer. He has a long amateur pedigree. He is outstanding. He went from probably 165 to 178 pounds, from 178 to heavyweight, and then on to super heavyweight. And we actually fought 4 times as an amateur, so I know that Calvin Brock certainly has the goods.
And what was that? What happened in those 4 fights?
I was able to believe it or not, I was able to squeak all 4 of them out. So
how many times did you win the national amateur title?
I won 10 national amateur titles. I won the PALS in 1999. I won the U.S. Championship 96, 97, 98. I won the Golden Gloves 96, 99. I won the American Boxing Classic in 95, 96, and I won the U.S. Olympic Festival.
What happened in the 96 Olympic trials? Who did you lose to in the Olympic trials?
I lost to a guy by the name of Nate Jones, who represented the country at 201. And then in 2000, I lost to Michael Bennett from Chicago as well. I had a Chicago curse.
The Chicago curse?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, what do you think about Klitschko, man? Is he beatable? Is he there? Is he right for the taking? What do you think, man? Can he become... Manuel Stewart's talking about him being the next Lance Lewis, dominating the division. Tell me what you think about Vladimir Klitschko.
I think to be honest with you, I think Vladimir Klitschko has taken a page out of my book. He's fighting more like me. If you will watch and examine the fight with myself and Vladimir back in October 2nd of 2004, he's fighting more and more like me. He's taking more than a page or 2 out of my book. He's taking about probably a whole chapter. So he's boxing a little bit more, and so it's hard to really say anything negative because you always want to compliment somebody who want to be like you. So it's really nice. I wish you would give me a phone call and say, "Hey, Darvell, man, I like the way you fight, man. I like your style." I mean, that would be the right thing to say. Right beside, I'll give you a rematch because it's still.
Do you feel like you got cheated in that fight?
Absolutely, I do. But you really can't cry about it. The fight was going exactly where I wanted to go, and they saw it and they found a way to quit. Like, for example, let's look at Vitaly Klitschko, his brother. His brother's eye was hanging out, dangling out his head when he fought Lennox Lewis, and he was still fighting. This guy had a cut on his forehead, and he was bleeding. But by the time the round was over, the blood had stopped. As soon as Dr. Mark Gooden okayed the fight to be stopped, you didn't see another trickle of blood the entire time. And so why did the fight stop? Maybe a number of things. A couple of reasons why it got stopped, because he knew he was in over his head.
Was it time to jump out when he could?
That's it. I mean, he.
Did you think you were going to get the decision from the knockdown, or did you feel like he was kind of... Your idea was to get him later on, or what?
Yeah, the fight was going... I felt like I won a couple rounds in addition to a 10-8 round, so that if you have... I won at least 2 rounds of the 5 rounds. If you have a knockdown in 2 of the rounds, You know, at the worst, it should be a win or a draw.
Yeah, you're pretty unlucky if you lose a decision on that one.
I mean, so,
what do you think, Devin? Let's talk about Messi. Man, I don't want to be negative towards you because, you know, you're world-class heavyweight. You've come back from behind before against Corey Sanders, for example. You've always fought your heart out, especially against a Klitschko, a guy that outweighed you by, you know, 35, 40 pounds. What happened in that Joe Messi fight? What happened in that fight? How could you – I really thought you were going to win that fight. I had my father bet on that fight to bet on you. You know, I knew your amateur pedigree. What can you tell me about Joe Messi? And tell me about Joe Messi in that fight, and tell me what you think about after seeing him now since his comeback.
I mean, nothing impressed me through the fight. Nothing impressed me after the fight. That's just my phone. Nothing impressed me in the fight. Nothing impressed me out of the fight. Joe Messi is a kid I raised. Back in 1995, I think we went over to Sweden and Finland and fought against their national team, and I had to put him under my wing and let him know that he was going to be all right. So nothing he done has surprised me. I think I had got ahead of myself, listening to some of the whispers in my ear about me doing this, being commercials, doing movies, and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes, you know, you have a poor kid that's from Washington, D.C. that hadn't had the opportunity to have those things. It got a little bit ahead of myself, and I wasn't. I was focused on fighting. I was in very good shape. It's just somehow between the corridor, the locker room, the corridor, then walk to the ring, and I was glassy eyed, like as if like a deer in the headlights. So I don't blame anyone. I just say, hey, that was some you know, it was a situation. I came back and I fought Kendrick Rutherford, beat Alistair Castillo.
Oh, you beat Oliver McCall. That was a hell of a fight. Oliver McCall is a good fighter.
Klitschko and Oliver McCall within 30 days of two guys.
McCall is legit. I mean, he's never been down. McCall has never been down.
McCall hasn't lost since he lost to Lennox Lewis before he lost to me. If you look at his box record, he's probably won 25 fights since then.
Now let's talk about what about Chris Bird? Did you have any regrets about that fight? Do you feel like you maybe should let it go more, let it hang out, or I mean, did you feel like you did your best in the Bird fight?
Yes, I think I did my best because